It's a combined 61 points for Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox tonight. And the Spurs, they got to play all 48 minutes, but they put away the pesky Washington Wizards. 131-121, the final tonight at Capital One Arena. As we welcome you back inside our Spurs Live studios, Dan Weiss back here with you. Man, I mean, you talk about a 1-2 punch. Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox, 61 between the two of them. It's the first multiple player Spurs scoring effort of 30 or more points since January of 2023 when Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sochan did it against the Phoenix Suns. And here's the leading scorers tonight for the Spurs. 31 for Victor, 30 for De'Aaron Fox, and then 16 and 14 off the bench for Stephon Castle and Jeremy Sochan, respectively, here. And, well, I tell you, the Spurs, they needed all of it tonight offensively because the Wizards were knocking it down, particularly in the first half. They just would not go away. And let's take a look at Victor Wembanyama's performance tonight. And he kind of shakes off a couple of, maybe substandard scoring performances for him tonight with a 31-point effort in this one, going 12 of 21 from the field, knocks down 5 3-pointers, and also comes away with 15 rebounds and 3 blocks in this one, too. As Victor finishes the night with 31 total points in this one. A couple of steals. Take a look at his total line altogether. Overall, man, he was good tonight. Good to see Victor get back into gear, and good to see the Spurs get back into the win column. It is their second victory here on this rodeo road trip as they improved to 2-3 before heading off to Boston before the final game heading into the All-Star break. Spurs beat the Wizards tonight despite Washington having 9 guys. All 9 players who played in this game finished in double figures in scoring. It is the first time that's happened in NBA history with a loss. You have 9 guys who finished in double figures in scoring since 2020. Just some other interesting notables from this game. De'Aaron Fox had a career-high 15 made free throws in this game. And it's the 18 free throws total, 16 attempts for De'Aaron Fox. It's the most free throws by his person's DeMar DeRozan had 16 in a game back in 2021. Send it back out to the two gentlemen who called tonight's game, Jacob Toby and PJ Carlesimo. Guys, take it away.
Dan, thank you very much. All right, everyone can take a sigh of relief. This game wasn't a one-point game. That's the first leading thought, at least for me, PJ.
Yeah, it is. And, in the fourth quarter, we held them to 25 points. It doesn't sound like a lot, but the Wizards went 30, 33, 33, and then only 25. The difference was we weren't in a one-possession game at the end. We weren't, dependent on making or missing a last shot to get a win. We finally played a little bit of defense, not enough, I'm sure, to make Mitch Johnson happy. And I should point out what Dan was just talking about. It wasn't that long ago, 2 games, if I'm not mistaken, that Wemby was on a string of 7 straight, 20, 10, double-doubles. So, again, he's back in form tonight, 31 and 15. That's even more impressive. A lot of good things happened tonight. The biggest, we got a chance to maybe get out of the rodeo road trip in good shape.
They out-rebounded the Wizards by 1, so you take that as a win, at least a little bit.
No, I do. We did a better job rebounding on the defensive end. It was strange, though, after we gave up the offensive rebound, second chance points really came back to bite us again. Richaun Holmes had a lot to do with that.
Yes, he did. He had a really good game from the paint. Take a look at some of those final numbers. Whenever you shoot 50% from the field and you make 17 threes, you have a good shot.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, we were at 50% for a while. 45% will still get it done. No question about that. Kind of quietly, too, the free throw line, 24 for 29, 83%. We kept talking about, you just heard Dan talking about how many free throws De'Aaron Fox attempted. But again, right from the first quarter, he established that. So we were in the bonus most of the night, and we took advantage of it.
All right, joining us now on the floor after the win here on the rodeo road trip is Jeremy Sochan. He had 14 points off the bench tonight. Jeremy, it's Jacob, and PJ Carlesimo. First of all, another win on the rodeo road trip. It wasn't a one-point game. You get the win. How are you feeling after this one tonight?
Yeah, no, it feels good. I think, we really needed this as a team. again, we fought through. There was moments in the game where, we could have done better, but at the end of the day, we pushed through and, we won. And that's the most important thing. Now we got to get ready for, a really important game to finish off the rodeo, part one of the rodeo in Boston. So, that's going to be a big game.
Yeah, Jeremy, I got to, you filled up the stat sheet, so I got to look down at literally every column. 6 for 7 from the field, which was great. But you did the other things, which I think are, people sometimes don't notice. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. So many things here. Yeah, scoring, going to the basket. A couple times you made the good play. You showed off that left hand, that little baby hook. Here it comes right here. I hope you're looking at the monitor. It was really sweet. But defensively, he came up with steals, good assists, a complete game. And that's the difference. You're so willing to do that, whether you're starting, whether you're coming off the bench. That's important. And that was part of the difference tonight for San Antonio.
No, for sure. One thing, I'm always going to do is try and impact the game for my team, for my teammates, for the coaches, for this organization. And, I'm just trying to be a winning player, and that's the most important part.
Well, you did it, and I love it. I love 3 steals, 3 assists, 5 boards. Yeah, yes, 6 for 7 from the field's pretty good tonight. Well done, Jeremy.
Thank you, boss.
Jeremy, when you take a look at the rodeo road trip, this is not your first time.
Yeah.
This is not your first time on it. What does it take as a team to come together and beat this thing? Because it's a hard thing to be away. The next home game at the Frostbank Center isn't until March 2nd.
Yeah. Again, it's very mental, and I think this is the first one where I'm like, oh snap, like this is long because we've traveled so much before the rodeo even started. Oh shit. Oh. There's so many balls flying. My bad. I swore and everything. Hey, hold on. Let me pass this away. Damn. Again, this whole season we've traveled so much. We had Christmas in New York. We had Paris. That was a week long. We had LA during the fires.
LA, New York a week.
Again,
You've been all over the place.
We've been all over the place for a long time, and now the rodeo too. It's all mental. Again, I feel like our bodies can do so much more than sometimes our mind allow us. And again, in those moments, we have to stick together, communicate, and again, play as hard as we can as a team and, just feed off each other's energy.
I can't let you go before I ask this. The next color of your hair will be?
I don't know.
Not green.
Maybe
not
I'm gonna
green. Not green on Wednesday night. That you're gonna make him happy.
No. I want to say something, but I can't say it on TV. It's gonna be a little rude. But yeah, definitely not green. Again, I might ask the fans on Instagram. So stay locked in. We'll see what color it is.
All right, Jeremy Sochan, 14 points off the bench. Congrats on the win, my man.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Well done, Jeremy.
Thank you.
So a great night here. So you go to Boston. What's the mentality like playing the defending champions coming up here?
Well, it's not just another game. People always talk about having a bullseye on the back. What does that mean? The Spurs dealt with that for so many years. They are the NBA champions. It's not just another game. It's not just another building. You're going into TD Garden. No, it's not the old Boston Garden, but it's still a special parquet floor. And you're talking all NBA players, all-stars abound on that team. Best three-point shooting team in the history of the NBA. They're knocking on the door of 50 three-point attempts a game, and they do it at a pretty respectable number. So we got our work cut out for us, no question. But we also have, sometimes can happen, that last game before All-Star, you can catch a team maybe looking a little bit ahead. Yeah. Hopefully it's not the Spurs looking to end this rodeo road trip.
All right, we'll see what restaurant PJ decides to take the whole crew to in the North End in Boston. We'll see Dan there as well. So
good.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah. I got a few suggestions. I'll throw some out there for you tomorrow afternoon. Don't worry.
We're not going to sandwich, though.
We're all stopping at Mike's Pastries, by the way, for cannolis afterwards, too. That is a given.
Hanover
guys,
Street,
we'll see you up there
sure.
in Boston. Yes, absolutely. See you guys up there in Boston. Celtics to close out the pre-All-Star portion of the schedule on Wednesday night at TD Garden. Spurs get a win tonight, 131-121 over the Wizards. Second win on this rodeo trip. Victor Wembanyama, 2, the hard way, a thunderous dunk. More Spurs Live, and we continue after this. Spurs back in the win column after a 10-point win over the Washington Wizards tonight in our nation's capital. 131-121 the final. As we continue Spurs Live, Dan Weiss back inside our Spurs Live studios. And, yeah, sure, Victor and De'Aaron are going to get a lot of the headlines tonight with 30-point performances. But, again, how about the performance, once again, by the rookie Steph Castle? The consistency that he continues to bring it at both ends of the floor really continues to amaze as he progresses through his rookie season. 7 of 9 shooting tonight, including a couple of three-pointers, but a couple of impressive plays, too, on the defensive end as he finishes with 3 steals in this one as well. His activity was great on both ends of the floor. Obviously, his ability to get downhill is something we always talk about. Probably could have gotten a couple of trips to the foul line tonight. He actually did not go to the foul line at all in this game, as he's trying to, of course, earn those calls as he moves through his rookie campaign. But still, overall, a great performance from Steph Castle with 16 in his 20 minutes tonight, and all part of a big 131 points, and more importantly, a Spurs win over the Washington Wizards, 131-121. We'll take a break, come back. We'll hear from Mitch Johnson on the other side, and we'll take a look at the defending champion Boston Celtics when we come back. Julian Champagnie, 3 the hard way here. Of course, Spurs Live, and
they did a great job. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're learning the environment for those guys to play in, whether it's together or just on their own in their spots, and how everybody fits around that. That'll be something that, again, will take a little bit of time. I thought even initially before that, we were playing out of our defense pretty well, getting some stops, playing fast, being able to play against some, mismatches and cross matches, and when they weren't set on defense. But yeah, at the end, I thought we had some really good kind of crunch time execution there, and those two guys get a ton of credit for that. And other guys around it, because they had the proper spacing to allow those guys to play in space.
Seems like you answered pretty much every challenge that they gave you in that fourth quarter. But what was the key to doing that?
I did think it was execution. I thought there was a time there where it felt like we had okay possessions and we just didn't finish them out, whether that was they kind of drove it right at the end, a rebound here or there. And I thought we did a good job at some point of just finishing off possessions on both ends of the floor.
Aaron got to the foul line 18 times. Is that a part of his game that you guys are kind of going to count on? Like maybe not 18 times every night, but just him getting to the line and being aggressive that way?
We will need him and Victor both to put tremendous pressure on the rim for us at times, and he did that tonight when we had some of those dry spells. That can alleviate that for sure.
A second massive scoring option like De'Aaron Fox, who's 13th in the NBA in scoring, and tonight comes up with his first 30-point effort with the Spurs, certainly takes a little bit of the pressure off Victor Wembanyama, although Victor certainly did more than enough tonight in the win with his 31 and 15. So now the Spurs will head up to Boston to meet the defending champion Celtics for the first time this season. Celtics go to Miami tonight, pick up their 38th win of the season as they knock off the Heat 103-85. Jason Tatum was Tatuming this evening. He had 33 points and 8 rebounds in the win. All 5 starters finished in double figures for the Celtics. Who are certainly, been, as PJ was pointing out, they've hit some dry spells at home a little bit. They've had a couple of lapses. They're trying to put themselves in motion for maybe a shot at trying to hunt down the Cleveland Cavaliers before we get to the playoffs. But going into TD Garden with that crowd, with that passion, certainly will make for an interesting challenge for the Spurs. That comes up on Wednesday. We'll have that one for you over on CWSA, beginning with Spurs Live at 5:30. Tip time at 6 o'clock. Tonight, the Spurs get 61 combined between Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. 16 off the bench for Steph Castle, 14 for Jeremy Sochan. And De'Aaron Fox, a career-high 15 made free throws as the Spurs come away with a 131-121 win. Now, for PJ Carlissimo, Jacob Toby, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. We'll talk to you Wednesday night from Boston over on CWSA. Have a great night, everybody.